Hello everybody, we are heading into our next module. We're going to talk a little bit more about student satisfaction in the online setting, and we're going to show you how to use the Tpack model to create your next learning activity. The research does say that the course design has a critical impact on student satisfaction, personality, and learning styles such as extroversion will also create that satisfaction level for the students. We do know that there's different types of learners, so considering that learning style is also key. Part of the Tpack model is using Web 2.0 tools. We are using within this course Flipgrid from our last module, and in this module we're going to use a shared document to make some edits and create a checklist with what you can view and make edits from before students even start your course. The research does state that an orientation or some kind of live video conference session will help create the readiness for students to use the online learning platform, otherwise known as the learning management system. You can also increase student satisfaction from creating that community setting and sense of belonging. And lastly, including those andragogy best practices such as relevance, self-direction is also encouraged, especially if you have adult learners. So ensuring student satisfaction before students start, again, there is quite a few elements you can be in control of with the course design. You can create individual and group collaborations. You can do some asynchronous videos, but you can also do live sessions. Ensuring that you have set course expectations and also for interactions. When you design your course, you want to make sure you have backwards design planning to ensure that all the learning objectives and assessments align with your learning goals for that course. You want to make sure that you have an organized structure for your course or your training workshop, and that you provide that readiness that's available through what an orientation will offer, how to navigate and use your tools within that learning management system. You also want to offer some tips for best practices for online learning. This may be new for many of your students. And we do have the universal design for learning that is effective for increasing accessibility and maximizing learning for all those types of learners, regardless of personality and learning styles. Again, you want to make sure that this is as user-friendly as possible, so the more you prep before students start, the more successful they'll be within the platform, and they'll be able to focus on just that content. Teachers, it is a good strategy to have some kind of biography video, some welcomes, and some introduction, just so that you provide that teaching presence right from the very beginning. There are some instructional and learner factors, again, that will be helpful as well. So again, making those accommodations and ensuring that the course provides those learning activities that vary so that everybody can have that choice. You always want to make sure your directions are clear and concise and offer rubrics so that your students know how the assessment is going to be graded. Once students submit work, you always want to show that teacher presence and provide that authentic feedback in a timely manner. Integration with Web 2.0 tools will allow for some collaboration and some more interaction and provide that community setting that's in that online setting. So you want to consider the Tpack framework and definitely include the appropriate technologies in your learning activities. Again, consider andragogy and pedagogy. You might have some adult learners that could benefit from some pedagogy best practices, but just ensure that it does shift to more of andragogy and that students, whether they're adult learners or not, they get that opportunity to make this content relevant for themselves. And lastly, let's not forget about transformative learning opportunities. We want to create that cognitive dissonance that provides that problem-based scenario where peers and students will be able to, come out learning and knowing that they have a wider perspective than what they originally came in with. So all of that is going to provide that content knowledge beforehand. Now, just to kind of model this upcoming assignment, you want to integrate Tpack. So I'm going to show you with our own training course today how you'll be able to include that in your own online course. Now, in this course, we're really focusing on student satisfaction in the online course. So we want some kind of takeaway, some kind of problem-based scenario that allows these students to be able to have a takeaway. It could be a resource that they can use in their online courses. So we're going to think about pedagogical knowledge. You can also think about andragogy as well. With adult learners, even high school students, you got to have that collaborative and constructive piece. We want the learners to collaboratively challenge their own schemata and construct a shared checklist that shows what teachers, what instructors can do to increase that student satisfaction before students even start the online course. So we gave you some of those initial features from research. I want you to pull that together and see what does that look like in your setting as an instructor before the students actually log in that very first day. What could they see in not only that course design, but what can they see that has already been posted that creates that environment? Lastly, you want to make sure to really round this out and do that Tpack framework. It's not Tpack until you've got some kind of technology and web tools. So in this group setting, you're going to use a shared document. I'm going to recommend more of Microsoft Word or Google Docs. When you share a document, it is going to show who is annotating and who is participating in that document. So it is going to be a shared scenario. You can also get on a video conferencing session as well and also collaborate on that shared document as well. So if you want to look at the Tpack project diagram for student satisfaction, again, we're going to start with that content knowledge, bring in that problem-based scenario. We're going to bring in that pedagogical and andragogical best practices. We're going to allow the peers to collaborate and construct the checklist based off of their discussions. Students will be held accountable because they will annotate that shared document. And that is going to bring that TK element in, technology. And then the students will submit that hyperlinked shared document as an assignment to be graded. And again, the instructor will be able to see who's participating because they'll be able to see who is typing in and editing that checklist as the collaboration is happening. We will go through a lesson closure and wrap up. This is ultimately going to create a checklist that we can utilize, and then this will bring us into our next module where we're going to create a welcome letter, welcome video to introduce our students to not only the content, but ensure that they see that teaching presence through that introduction and starts, and they know that we're available for them throughout the course. We do have quite a bit of references. The most relevant resources have been selected here, but you may go ahead and review these if you'd like to get into more of the readings. Quite a few of these are posted in your Module 2 readings assignment as well, so feel free to use them for your checklist. If you have any questions or concerns, you know how to find me. I can be emailed, called, or you can attend my weekly office hours, both on Mondays and on Thursdays, 2 o'clock Pacific time. All right, I look forward to seeing your culminating results and providing some feedback. Thank you so much.